All right, everything is up the way it should be. If you're just checking in on Facebook, make sure you say hello. Hello, we want you to do that. Of course, a little Merry Christmas for you. A little graphics there. But let's go ahead and get the show on the road. Let me push one last button here. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio in Coldwater, Michigan. The lead stories are Facebook rolls back their newsfeed tweaks. And we're going to talk about that. U.S. government under cyber attack. Amazon competing with SpaceX. And Facebook's not happy with Apple and gets a taste of its own medicine. I want to welcome you to episode 1494 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, December 17th. This show is sponsored by GoDaddy.com, and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to welcome you. If you're brand new to the show, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking this podcast out. And of course, being that you're new to the show, we want you to take some time and make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you're on the website, all you got to do is sign up or actually subscribe to the show. Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeart. Don't recommend that one. But anyway, there's all kinds of ways to listen to the show. You can get a notification via email that there's a new episode. Just click on the links right there on the website at geeknewscentral.com. You get signed up for the newsletter as well. The newsletter contains everything that I'm going to talk about today with all the links to it. It's sent out immediately following the show. It's not a spam deal. You're not going to get chit-chat back and forth. It's just two emails a week with lots of techie goodness built in. So definitely, we want you to take your time and get signed up for the newsletter and subscribe to the show. Of course, you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server. We're on Discord. The Discord link is on the show notes. If you want to be part of the cool cats, you can join our Slack channel. Remember, Slack has a mobile app. You don't have to participate on your desktop. Just send me an email, and I'll get you connected to the Slack group. And it's real easy. geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, my Twitter address is @geeknews. You can follow me on Facebook. That's real easy. Just search for my name, Todd Cochran. You'll see my ugly mug there. Of course, all the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com. That includes the new media show, the Pro Gear Guru website, the Gadget Professor, and of course, Podcast Legends and GNC Week in Review. Get subscribed to all those shows so you don't miss a single episode. And of course, this show is sponsored by the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. You can find all the best deals, the best savings, getting a domain name, getting a website, getting set up to have an online presence. I'm hearing from people all over the country. They're saying they're locked down. I actually heard from someone in Canada today that said, I'm locked down. And not too far from here, just across into the border from Detroit. So people are locked down. So why not spend that time and set up a website and get you something that's, going to be sustainable for you? And all my promo codes there will help you save money, whether it be 30% off a new product purchase, whether it be 499.com on newer transferred domains for new customers only, or $1 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. Yes, $12 gets you going. Again, you get a free domain. That's an $8.49 value. Or $1 a month of managed WordPress hosting. That's one I like a lot because you set it and forget it. GoDaddy manages it, backs it up, does everything. And all you have to do is create. Again, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting site for the first year with a free domain. When you get to the checkout, make sure you check 1 year versus 3 year because they're going to try to lock you into 3, but it's okay just to do a year. That's $12. Make sure you know what that second year cost is going to be on the plan that you pick. And of course, you can, if you're a business owner, try that free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. And we definitely thank GoDaddy for being a long-time sponsor here. So hello, Rita. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for liking the live feed tonight. Thank you very much. So what's going on? Well. As you know, I flew down to Tampa to visit my new grandson, of course, my granddaughter. And I went with my mom. We flew on Spirit Airlines. That was a interesting. It's definitely not United. The seats, I'm going to tell you, was like sitting on it was more uncomfortable than combat aircraft jump seats. They were horrible. And we're going to say it in a word that is going to be non-offensive. My ocoli, my gluteus maximus, even in 2 hours was like, please let me get out of here. And I was in the middle. I let my mom sit on the aisle. And next time it's just going to be, she's going to be in the aisle. I'm going to be on the aisle. I'm not sitting in the middle again. But it went down and basically it was very, very cool. I walked in got to the house, knocked on my daughter's and son-in-law's house, the door. My daughter opened the door. She was at the time nursing the baby, so really couldn't do any hugs. So I just sit down, and my granddaughter Alora walked around the corner, saw me, called me out, jumped on me, and she gave me this bear hug. That was, oh my goodness, it was worth the sitting in the Spirit Airlines seat, cramped up like sardines. It was worth every minute of it. So that started off. We'd had a great, very short, I guess 2.5, maybe almost 3 days. And I got back here on Monday. And then, of course, Tuesday was like a torrent, an absolute torrent of, oh my gosh, a torrent of work. Because Monday at the airport, I'm hammering out emails and, responding to support tickets and sales tickets. And I said, I'll be able to meet with you Tuesday. My schedule looks good. I'll be able to meet with you Tuesday. So when I woke up Tuesday morning and checked my email, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, 1:32, and right all the way through Tuesday. I mean, I did, I think, 8 hours back to back online. So the whole rest of the week's been like this. And it seems like it's been sleep, eat, work, and rinse, repeat. So yes, some of you may notice I kind of scratched myself, moving some furniture around. I whacked myself like an idiot. So luckily it didn't bleed. Looks like I got stabbed with a fork. It's kind of funny. So here's the deal. I get a COVID test on Sunday. With any luck, the results will be back before I board the airplane to Hawaii on Wednesday, because I have to have a hard copy of this result. So I'm a little bit, they want you to have a hard copy. I have to upload it to some Fly Hawaii site, because if I don't have the hard copy when I land in Honolulu, I have to quarantine the entire time I'm there. So I'm going to be back. I'll be back for the 24th. I fly down on Wednesday of next week, the 23rd. I leave Sunday night. I'll be back in Michigan on Monday, flying out of Chicago. So I got to go to Chicago. But it's been snowing here for the last 2 days. It's kind of cool. We got snow on the ground. And I'd rather have it snow than mud, to be honest with you. But that catches you up. That's what's going on. So the schedule for the show is going to be, with everything I'm doing here, looking at the calendar, I'll do a show on the 21st. There's going to be no show on Christmas Eve. I get back here the morning of the 28th. So I really don't know how, unless I do something, there might be just one more show this year. And it might be the 21st, might be the last show of the year. I don't know. I'm going to have to play this by ear a little bit. I'd hate to leave you guys for almost 2 weeks, because the 21st, the 28th, and 28th, it would be almost 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to plan something there, work with Kirk. Maybe I'll do a show on the 23rd. I can't do it on the 23rd. Maybe we'll do one on the 29th. An in-between show, maybe a Tuesday show or something. But I guess it depends. If I sleep on the airplane on the way back from Honolulu, it's red eye. So I don't get into Chicago to 7 a.m. That's 8 a.m. here in Michigan. A 3-hour drive back to the house. That's 11 a.m. So, yeah, I'm probably going to stick a fork in me on the 28th. But anyway, that's what's going on. It is what it is. I don't think I'll have time to do a show in Honolulu and lug all the stuff I need to do that. But anyway, that's what's happening. Again, if you're watching the show live, make sure you say hello. We want to hear from you. But let's get into the content. I got a stack of stuff here, and I'm going to once again mention that podcasting is becoming the final place where you can get true. There's going to be no censorship. It's about the final place on the planet where you can have true freedom of speech. And what this really rolls back to is Facebook. Now, some people will have a real issue with what they did, and I do, because they made a logo changes before the election that basically deprioritized what Facebook determined as websites that weren't as trusted. And they made sites trusted that was like CNN, NPR. None of these mainstream news sources, in my opinion, can be trusted anymore. I've talked about all of this many times on the show, that all of them, all the mainstream media folks are nothing more but extensions to each political party. And so Facebook, the change they designed was designed to promote, quote unquote, to them, reliable news coverage. Well, this was a quote unquote emergency tweak to quote unquote combat the surge of quote unquote misinformation. Well, let's also be understanding that Facebook was the company that was determining what the misinformation was. So they had increased the value of publications like CNN and the New York Times, which to me is hilarious in many regards. It really is, that they were the reliable source. So Facebook cannot be trusted. My advice to you is, if you're on Facebook, ignore and never click any of the news links that goes to any major media news source. Do on Facebook for your friends and commentary, and stay away from links. Don't give these organizations click-throughs. Instead, why don't you start subscribing to podcasts? And but here's the funny part. Now that the election is all over, Facebook has rolled back these measures. So it was a temporary change to help limit the spread of inaccurate information, according to Facebook. Facebook added warning labels to more than 180 million posts that supposedly included misinformation. I saw some of those posts that were flagged. If you said anything about the election, anything, they put a flag on it. And some stuff that wasn't even about the election, they put a flag on too. So now they've rolled that back. So I'm going to tell you, hi Liz, thank you for joining the show live. So I'm going to tell you, Facebook, in my opinion, really can't be trusted here. None, and absolutely, unequivocally, none, zero, none, no way of any of the mainstream media. They can't be trusted. Doesn't matter which network. I don't care your political affiliation. That's your business. But every single news network cannot be trusted. So find a podcast. Get subscribed to those podcasts. And you, as an adult, use your education and the knowledge you have about the world to determine what is fake and what is not. Be informed. All right, moving on that. Oh, my goodness. You know, having done my time in the Navy and other things that I did, I fully understand the concern of cyber attacks. We've seen it in the past where the Chinese were able to not only collect SF-80 information, which for those of you that are civilians, SF-80 is the security questionnaire that people that hold security clearances, the 30 pages of information that you tell them everything about your life and everything that you did that you want them to know about so that you can't be blackmailed later. The Chinese got all of those federal government employees, including DOD people, got all that information. Then the Chinese hacked Equifax and got all the everyone's credit reports. So that was, they got those two pieces. Now, because some of these countries can't do their own innovation, can't do their own work, there has been a massive cyber breach across many federal systems. Department of Energy. Well, the Department of Energy includes Los Alamos Labs, Sandia National Labs. Those are the folks that build nuclear weapons. The Department of Energy also maintains the U.S. nuclear weapon stockpile. DOE and NNSA officials began coordinated notifications about a breach to congressional oversight bodies after being briefed by the chief information officer at DOE. They found suspicious activity in networks belonging to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Sandia and Los Alamos National Labs in New Mexico and Washington, the Office of Secure Transportation. You know what that is? Office of Secure Transportation. They move nukes around, right? And money. The hackers have been able to do more damage at FBRC than the other efforts, and officials there have evidence of highly malicious activity. The officials but did not elaborate. The officials said Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency have been helping to manage a federal response to the broad hacking campaign. Now, we heard the Federal Reserve was hacked last week, amongst other things. So federal investigators have been combing through networks in recent days, and what they did is they infiltrated a contractor's software, put some, basically modified it, and then when they did updates into DOE, into DOD, and everywhere else, those systems were immediately vulnerable. And now they've finally figured out which software was the identified software, and they've isolated those computers. But those of you that aren't familiar with this, there is really multiple networks that do not touch each other. So you've got what we'll call the green network. The green network is kind of where everything's at, where administrative is done. There's no secrets being talked. But there's still information there, right? Lots of information. Troop movements, like they said, all these types of things that may not be classified. And then there's another network that is like where you actually have to log into a separate machine. It's plugged into a different thing. And sometimes you got a special token to get into those networks. And then you have limited access based upon whatever you have access to in those networks, and have subsystems and sub logins and, And then there's another network that requires a whole nother login, and probably more than that. And those are really supposed to be closed systems. They're not supposed to ever touch the real world. The green system will touch the real world because you can surf to whatever website you want unless they've blocked it. The other networks, well, you can't get there from here. You type in some public website and it, I don't know who that belongs to. It won't load it. So let's hope that these cyber attacks did not get into any of those closed loop systems. And much of that infrastructure and how it's designed and how it operates is in itself very classified, as you would think so, as you would think. And I would almost bet that Sandia and Los Alamos National Labs probably have even more restricted networks. The Los Alamos folks said it was limited to business networks, which makes sense because that would kind of be on the green side, if we'll call it green. So we'll see what happens here. And it's a big issue. And they say this is the biggest cyber attack to date. And this is going to not end well. Now I have to kind of laugh here a little bit because the president-elect warns he will be tough on state sponsors of cyber attacks as U.S. suffers massive hack. Let's think back to the Obama administration. It was on their watch when the attack that stole all of the security profiles. They did nothing. They did nothing. They just, oh, okay, China, you got the stuff. There you go. They did nothing. So, of course, President-elect Biden won't be able to do anything until, January 20th? And I think the current administration is one that's likely to be responsible for determining what retaliatory actions the United States takes. But I don't think we'll ever hear about it. Because if they do a cyber attack, they're not going to announce that they did a cyber attack. Or are they going to say, we attacked the Russian military computers? They're not going to come out and say that, ever. Never. So we won't know what they did. When President-elect Biden is sworn in, he won't be able to say what we did either. So sanctions or something, maybe, I don't know, kicking diplomats out. It is crazy, and Senator Mitt Romney said that the cyber hack is like Russian bombers have been repeatedly flying undetected over our entire country, alarming U.S. vulnerability, apparent cyber warfare weakness, glaringly inadequate cyber defense, inexcusable silence and inaction from the White House. Well, sometimes the White House can't talk about some of this. Sometimes their hands are tied. So we'll see. See what happens. Oh, my goodness. Hey, let's talk about... Hey, Toby, thanks for the welcome back. Let's talk about Amazon. Amazon, yes, is competing with SpaceX Starlink. Well, Amazon is saying that their new antenna called Project Kuiper, Kuiper, did I pronounce that right? Is going to be able to deliver 400 megs in a prototype phase. Oh my gosh, please. Please, please, please. Here I am in the office I'm fine, but when I'm back at the loft, this the internet sucks. So they're working on their space satellites and antennas. And the prototype antenna is about 12 inches square, maybe 15 by 15. And it's using KU. I'm familiar with KU band. KU bands operates at 18 to 20 gigahertz and transmits antennas and the transmit antenna operates at the 28 to 30 gigahertz. And I used to have a KU dish when I was running my bulletin board and pulling down shareware and stuff via satellite connection, which was kind of cool back in the day considering all the things that we were doing. But you guys maybe don't know about that. So when I moved to what year? Boy, the internet really wasn't going yet. Yeah, it was just starting. Dial-up was going on. And cable modems maybe in some areas, but I was using a KU dish pointed at a satellite that basically was nothing more than a data feed. Somewhere, someone was pushing up FidoNet, was pushing up shareware, was pushing up all this stuff. And it was on a loop. So I would get about every 12 to 14 hours. It kind of rotated a little bit. I would some of it would be duplicative data that I would get and we would process and put into the system. It was amazing. I can't believe the batch routines. I had batch files to process stuff that was coming in off this satellite. It was like 700 lines long. And anyway, just all kinds of cool tools, and it was using Wildcat. I miss those days sometimes. Sometimes I mean those super geeky times. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But they're prioritizing download speeds. No. I need up. Because if I can get upload speeds, I move the studio to the compound. This room could be in a barn, right? I get the satellite speeds going where I have enough push. We'll move the operation, right? But anyway, Starlink satellites already delivering broadband. We know this, of course, that's a SpaceX solution, promising initial speeds of 50 to 150 megs. But again, Amazon is not even putting up satellites yet. So, and they don't have they got to pay. Can you imagine SpaceX, the ones being paid to put Amazon satellites in orbit? It's kind of ironic, right? Okay, so moving on here. Facebook is using questionable claims to attack Apple. Now, you may not know this. Starting early next year, Apple will enable a change in the upcoming iOS 14 that Facebook is really angry about. Mac Rumors reported that the change will require all of us to grant permission for the activity that's going to be tracked for personalized advertising purposes. So we get to actually say if we grant them permission to track us for personalized advertising. You know, every ad you get on Facebook is personalized. They know exactly who you are because you've opted into everything. Now, Facebook clearly does not want people to able to opt out of target advertising. And Bloomberg is reporting Facebook has purchased a series of full-page newspaper ads in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post titled, "We're standing up to Apple for small businesses everywhere." In the full-page ads, Facebook claimed while limiting how personal ads can be used does impact larger companies like us, these changes will be devastating to small businesses, adding to the many challenges they face right now. To me, this is a very tiny acknowledgement. Again, to me and our writers, this is a very tiny acknowledgement that iOS 14 will update will harm Facebook's ability to make money. And I think this is a wonderful thing. Colorful language is often used to convince people that the thing that they do not want is somehow beneficial to them. This is especially true when a large company tries to persuade you to let them use your data. Facebook is hoping that you will believe that small businesses will become unsustainable. Facebook has already completely devastated small businesses in the access to. If I like a small business, I never see their content in my newsfeed. As a small business, I have to pay to get my message in front of my customer that has liked my page, unless you join my group or you're part of a page that we've set up. But it's much, much harder to get people to do that, to come over and look at the actual group. Facebook is also upset about Apple's newly launched nutritional label style feature in its App Store. That feature outlines what data third-party apps collect. Bloomberg noted that Facebook may have seen this as an attack on Facebook app, given the amount of information it gathers. So it just goes on and on. And along with that, Apple has responded to Facebook's anti-tracking criticism. And this is what Apple said. "We believe that this is a simple matter of standing up for our users. Users should know when their data is being collected and shared across other apps and websites, and they should have the choice to allow that or not. App tracking transparency in iOS 14 does not require Facebook to change its approach to tracking users and creating targeted advertising. It simply requires that we give them permission. Now, California enacted the CCCPA in 2018. It requires businesses that collect a consumer's personal information must inform consumers about the categories of personal information that's collected. Apple's upcoming iOS 14 update sounds like it's in compliance with CCPA. So these are two stories written by Jen Thorpe on Geek News Central. These are two very important articles, and they were both released today. I want you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. Go ahead and read the content. Jen did a great job summarizing all this and making a lead story. See, I don't always put the Geek News Central stuff as a lead story in this show unless the content that my writers are putting out deserves it. And Jen did a great job on these two articles, and I hope that we get lots of traffic from that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Facebook, Jim, I talked about that. I think I have maybe 1 to 2 more shows. I'll be on next week on Monday for sure. And it's, basically, I was asked the question of how many times we'll be on between now and the end of the year. Well, between now and Christmas, it'll be this show and I think the 21st. So anyway, that's where we're at on the Facebook Apple drama, and lots of other app developers are affected here. It is time, and it's long overdue that all of us start taking our privacy back. Start saying to companies, yes, you can collect on me, or you can't. Look at the data that Amazon. I was looking for something this afternoon. Still doing Christmas shopping. I was looking for something this afternoon. I was on the company's website, so I'm just like searching for a discount, right? And one website said 5% off. I'm like, 5%? Let's see what it is over at Amazon. And by the time the shipping all got done, miraculously, it was the same price. So Amazon free shipping, delivery, same price as the website with the 5% discount, and having to pay for shipping, it was the same money. So I thought, well, there's no savings there. And it really didn't complete the purchase. And then for the rest of the afternoon, everywhere I went on the web, da-ding, da-ding, and seeing the ad for this stupid thing. And, we should not have to run. It's like someone, if you ever shopped, here's the example. If you've ever been in Asia and you went to a market and you have tried to negotiate, let me just, tell you how this works. You never pay retail. You barter. You dicker for a better price. You go low, they come down, you come up, you get to a point, maybe you find a happy medium, and maybe you don't. The salesman, especially if it's first sales of the day, if you turn to walk away, they like to chase you down the aisleway, because probably 2 vendors down in the market's probably got the same thing, and you can go through the same routine again, and they've already spent 15 minutes negotiating with you. They don't want to lose that sale, so they'll chase you. And that's what Amazon does. They chases you. And if you click on a Facebook ad, oh my God. I actually clicked on a Facebook ad about a month ago. I bought the item. Believe it or not, I bought the item. They're still serving the ads to me. I'm like, you idiots. You didn't know that I already bought this thing, and you're still spending advertising money. So that part's broke too. But it's time that when we say no, we're done, we're done. We don't get chased down the aisleway by the sales person that's trying to sell us whatever we were negotiating for. Or open up an incognito window. Somehow I think the incognito windows, they still, get you to a certain extent because they know your IP. But, or use a VPN or something to try to cover your tracks. So the less data we allow them to see is the better. But Jim, thanks for the Merry Christmas. I appreciate it. I hope you have a Merry Christmas too. And for those of you that maybe celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah to all of you as well. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's fine. Enjoy your day off. All right, Twitter is testing humanization prompts in an effort to reduce toxic replies. You know, Twitter is one of those places where sometimes I get triggered. And I'll start to write a reply, and my inner voice says, stop, don't do anymore. So now they're going to, when you get ready to reply to tweet, they're going to put on a little box below you that says, you have 3 things in common. You and Maria both followed the topic soccer, dogs, and rap. So in other words, now here's the scary part. How does Twitter know that I like soccer, dogs, and rap? If they're going to personalize it, they're going to say, you know, if you're getting ready to reply to one of my tweets, they're trying to personalize it so you don't humanize it. But how do they know about this already? Because they're building a profile on you. Did you know that? That Twitter has a profile on you? You have a profile on Twitter? You have a profile everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it kind of scary that Twitter, Amazon, and others may know more about you than your spouse or your significant other or whatever it may be? Does that not make you go, just a little bit? We've talked about this for a while. Google definitely knows, right? Google probably knows when you need to go to the doctor and you're not going because you've probably been doing, searches on, what's wrong with you. You know, if they could probably reach out of the screen and grab you, they're going to say, hey, you need to go to the doctor if you think you've got this. Major news publishers join. What happens when they do? What happens when they send the doctor for you? Someone knocks on the door. Your papers, please. We've noticed that you've been searching about heartburn on Google. We've been ordered to take you to the doctor to have this checked out. You may have a serious illness. All right, switching gears. Major news publishers join App Coalition protesting the Apple tax. So I don't feel sorry for some of these folks. Among the publishers of the New York Times, Bloomberg, the Washington Post, the Financial Times, NPR, and others, they were represented by the Coalition for App Fairness by publishing trade association Digital Content Next. Together, DCN members now reach 100% of the U.S. online population, and they're fighting Apple to build a competitive digital landscape. Well, get what you wish for. Apple has built a big machine. Now they don't like it. They want to change the rules. Apple's going to fight all the way. Not saying it's right, but that's the case. All right, Uber's offering 10 million rides to people seeking COVID vaccinations. The offer comes as a ride-hailing giant seeks to get priority access to the vaccine for its drivers. 10 million for your discounted rides. Who's going to get it? The company will partner with the National Urban League, the Morehouse School of Medicine, and the National Action Network because communities of color have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. We know this is true, which has claimed now more than 300,000 American lives. And the offer of free rides come as Uber, we talked about this on the last show, seeking priority access for its vaccine for its drivers. And Moderna, I think that's the name of the company, they just got approval this afternoon. So that's another 3 or 4 million doses that are hitting the street tomorrow. That's good. All right, a fun website for those of you that want to try to hack the Department of Energy. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. 5 websites that teach you how to hack legally. Now, if you want to know how to learn ethical hacking, you have to hack like a criminal, but be smart about it. Get started with these websites that you can legally hack. And again, please do some research on ethical hacking and what that means. So, so there's a variety of sites that you can do this. You can test your skills. And believe it or not, if you become good at cybersecurity, you're good at hacking, you're probably going to have a very, very good job for the rest of your life. Amazon is making contact-free returns easier this holiday season. It's now easier to return those unwanted Amazon gifts. Returns can be brought to Whole Foods. Well, I don't have one in my area. And many other locations, and don't require a label in most cases. Many items can return without a box, and customers will have until January 31st. Return items purchased within the specified window. So where are they going to do it? So eligible return locations include Amazon retail locations such as Amazon Books, Amazon 4-Star, Amazon Fresh Stores, Amazon Go Stores, Amazon Hub Locker, Whole Foods, UPS store location. We do have one of those in this town, but not a FedEx. Kohl's. You got a Kohl's south of us in Angola. Returns to these locations are quick and easy. In most cases, all you need is a QR code or barcode that's generated when creating a return. So, anyway, this is, they're making it easy through January 31st. Google's been hit with a third antitrust lawsuit from 38 states and territories as the second antitrust action against a search giant this week. Attorney generals from 38 states is going after their advertising business. And boy, they have a big one. We know that the Justice Department sued Google in October, saying the company's search and advertising business were unfair monopolies. Google's anti-competitive actions have protected its general search monopolies and excluded rivals, depriving customers of the benefits of competitive choices, which is true, foreselling innovation, and undermining new entry or expansion. I'm going to tell you, Facebook, Google, all these folks are at some point going to be hit with monopoly stuff as well, and they're going to be broke up. But anyway, this lawsuit, in a response, Google said the lawsuit would hurt businesses that depend on Google for customers. If you are running your business correctly, they will be able to find you by searching for your company's name and city, no problem. You don't have to run a Google ad. If you're building your website correctly with the right information within it, people will find your business. Instead, Google wants businesses to pay for advertising. But again, if you have your website squared away, people will find you through general search and keywords that you want to be found by. But it takes a little work. Google says redesigning search would harm the internet. It's not surprising. In a post on its Keylog blog, Google argues its search engine is evolved in response to user feedback, not a desire to disadvantage competitors. Well, no. You look at a search result, and the first 3 to 5 results are paid ads. Please always scroll down below those. Don't click those ads. Go down and find companies that aren't paying for ads in those search results. Because I guarantee you, click one of the ads, you're not always going to get what you think you're getting. The company goes on to argue that the data backs up its claims. It says that it drives more than 4 billion direct connections to businesses every month, but it doesn't say how that's done. The amount of traffic it sends to non-Google sites has increased every year since this new search engine went online. Of course, because many companies, including my own, are paying where we have weaknesses in search to be found by those search terms. So today's lawsuit is just one of 3 Google's had to respond to this year. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes. It's going to be fun to report on this as we move forward. If you're watching live, make sure you check in and say hello. Want to hear from you. We see a number of people online. Please check in. Hi, Rita. Toby and others have checked in. Canoo. You know, this is a weird company. Canoo. They've revealed a new electric vehicle ahead of its stock exchange debut. And basically, this is a last mile delivery vehicle. Kind of looks, in essence, one of those Amazon trucks, but it's all electric. And for $33,000, you can have a last mile electric delivery vehicle. And they've got a little bit of different focus on some of the stuff that they're doing. But if you've heard of Canoo, you definitely want to check it out. But they've got larger versions of this vehicle plan, 17.1 foot long, 7.2 feet wide, and 8.4 feet tall with 500 cubic feet of cargo space. They say is unheard of in this industry. The same battery, they've got battery pack actions that will do 130, 190, and 230 miles. And but it'll be available in 2022 and 2023 is when expected to be on the market. Europe has cleared Google Fitbit with a 10-year ban on using health data for ads. So Europe has greenlit Google's $2.1 billion acquisition of fitness wearable maker Fitbit. And again, applying a number of conditions intended to strengthen competitors' concern over letting it gobble a major cache of health and wellness data. While Google announced its plan to buy Fitbit over a year ago, it only notified the transaction to the commission on June of this year, meaning it's taken a half year to be given a caveat go-ahead by Europe. It's now facing formal antitrust charges on its own home turf, dun, 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 here in the United States. So we'll see what happens with this. They're gobbling. They got all the money. NASA's Kathy Lueders, and if I pronounce her last name, maybe it's Ludders, discusses the Artemis moon landing 2024 target and team selection. This is a good interview. It's a good review of what's going on, and I'll have the link up in the show notes on that. So if you're following the Artemis 2024 targeted moon landing, definitely check it out. Are you a Walmart fan? I shopped in Walmart today for the first time in about 9 months. And after I was there, I kicked myself because I could have went to Home Depot and got the same thing. Of all the cables, of all the thousands of cables I have in my boxes, I didn't have a phone cable. And you say, well, Todd, why did you need a phone cable in this digital world? Well, it turns out Geico, when I changed my driver's license and updated it on my insurance, car insurance, they somehow don't understand what I have put on that digital website versus what is they need to see on paper. So they asked me in a piece of paper to put my name, put my driver's license number on, some other information, and fax it to them. I haven't had to fax anybody since God was a child, to be quite honest with you. They didn't have a place where you could digitally email it, nothing. And no, it had to be faxed. And of course, I didn't have a phone cable. Now, because of the triple play here, because I have to have internet, cable, and a dial-up line to get the price that I get, which sucks. I've never had the phone line. Matter of fact, I didn't even know what the number was. I had to look it up because I had to enter that in the fax as I set my fax machine up on my printer. So I went over to Walmart and got a cable. $3. It's the cheapest cable I've ever bought at Walmart. $2.83 for a 15-foot phone cable. Still highway robbery. But got the fax sent. But that's my first time I've shopped that. And that's the only thing I bought in there. So Walmart is going to turn TikTok into its own home shopping network for one night. So if you are a Walmart fan, and I encourage you to shop other places, tomorrow, December 18th at 8 p.m., the hour-long holiday shop-along spectacular will have TikTok creators like dancer Michelle Lee participate in a social media fashion show. When you see clothing in a dance or closet tour, all you have to do is tap it to start a purchase. So they're going to have a TikTok 1-hour shopping event. While this is a partnership, Walmart will not give TikTok a cut of the sales. The big box told whoever this TC, the reporter, the event also wasn't prompted by the recent investment talks. This is a shared test. Please. I do everything I can to try to buy from local retailers, but I live in a small town, and a lot of stuff you just can't get. You just can't. And everything else is 45 to 50 minutes away. SEC fines Robinhood $65 million for misleading users. So, have any of you used the Robinhood investment app? Well, for the new and casual investor, that people haven't done so well. The order found that Robinhood provided unfair trade prices that in aggregated deprived customers of $34.1 million, even after taking into account the savings from not paying a commission. So, $65 million. So, oh, no DB9. Rita's, Rita said, well, I have yet to get a tactic account or a TikTok account. Rita, that's where all the real, believe it or not. Here's the funny thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's talked bad about TikTok, but that's where you find out the real news. It's where you see stuff that you'll never see on television ever. Honestly, it is. You'll see stuff that will never be reported by everyone. Says, oh, it's a Chinese app, it's hacked. It might be. It might be, but it's the only place you're going to see real news. Now the key is to be careful what you heart, because it leads you down paths. But it is amazing. You can search for stuff and you'll find all kinds of real news, real coverage, video clips that you'll never see anywhere else, anywhere. Not even YouTube, because YouTube censors stuff too. You do know that, right? All right, 3 million users installed 28 malicious Chrome or Edge extensions. These extensions could redirect users to ads, phishing sites, collect user data, or download malware in affected systems. There's a whole list here. I'm not going to get into all of them, but there's a list of them. They said contain malicious code. And there's a list of them for Edge as well. So a link will be up in the show notes, and you may want to just do a self-check there, all right? Twitter is going to reopen verification requests in 2021. That's the blue check. You know, I've got a blue check on my Twitter account. I don't know how I got lucky. And I got one for Blueberry, too. I should have submitted 3 or 4 more because we didn't get all of them. I submitted 2 just as a test, and we got the verification mark, and then they dried up because we tried to submit some other sites that we own on Twitter and couldn't, and they never were approved. But the company's also working on new labels for bots and memorialized accounts. So, you know, that's what's going to happen with all of this. You know, what happens when I kick the bucket? You know, you guys going to make sure my stuff is memorialized? Judge orders Apple, iOS, and Mac OS chief to testify in the Epic case. CEO Tim Cook will also be deposed as the case heads to trial. And, of course, this is Epic Games' lawsuit against Apple. Apple wanted Cook and App Store head Eric Neuenswander to represent the company case. Epic asked for federary, oh my gosh, instead, believing he is better able to speak to the reason for Apple's close integrated ecosystem. And Apple's U.S. District Judge Thomas S. Hickson approved that request. So we'll see what happens here. The court also rejected Apple's request to restrict Cook's deposition to 4 hours. Hickson ruled that time limits won't be set on Cook's appearance until after Epic receives documents from Apple. They're all in discovery phase right now. Apple and Epic have been loggerheads that later tried to bypass the App Store 30% cut of in-app transactions. So that's where many of this battle is going right now that we've been talking about on this show for a while. Twitter is now going to show you personalized funny tweets so you can see them before they end up on your Instagram meme account. I don't want to see funny tweets. I want to see stuff that I am subscribed to. I don't want to see viral tweets. I want to see the people that I follow. I don't want to see any other crap in my Twitter feed. I don't want to see viral content. I don't care about what other people are saying. I care about the people I follow. I don't want to see any other. you would be shocked how many times I block content that shows up on my Twitter feed, just like Facebook. And some people that have been on my Facebook 30-day vacation are starting to pop back into my Facebook feed. I'm watching. I'm watching because at some point I may have to put you back in the penalty box. Ethical power suppliers, People Energy, hacked 250,000 customers' personal info was accessed. Ethical power supplier, People's Energy. People Energy has been hacked. Okay, I guess that's a better word. So the British company's co-founders wrote to the customers on Thursday, confirming yesterday's People Energy was affected by a cybersecurity data breach. So those of you who live in the UK that have accounts with them, the data included member names, home addresses, email addresses, telephone numbers, date of birth, People Energy account numbers, tariff details, and meter identification numbers. Why are companies still not storing this data encrypted is beyond me. This is cybersecurity 101 for people's personal data. That stuff should be encrypted. I don't get it. 15 small business customers did have financial data accessed in a database. Bank account details and sort codes were pilfered, whatever a sort code is. So anyway, it just will never end. Samsung Galaxy's S21 color schemes pop in a leaked image. So if you like thinking about the Samsung S21, you got a nice pink, purple, kind of a blue purple, white, black. What else? Looks like space gray. Yeah, interesting. These colors here. So S21, more color releases. Colors for all, my friends. I mean, this isn't pink. It's more of it is pink. Pinkish orange. It is an interesting hue. It's black or space gray for me. I don't need a purple phone for sure, but maybe some of the ladies would. All right, the last few articles here. Don't leave. Got some stuff to say. Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Buds Pro also have leaked for all their glory. So, oops, it isn't showing up yet. There we go. So, they look nice, look glossy, look sexy. That's cool. Same color as S21. A 360 examination has leaked online. Oh, there. You really can't see. You're not going to be able to see it very good. But earbuds are earbuds. Did I tell you guys what was going on with my earbud? It's not the earbud that was bad. I was banging this earbud on. It's like I was getting scratchy noises. I was tapping. These are pretty expensive earbuds. Tapping it on my counter here, sticking it back in my ear. It wasn't that at all. It was the actual channel, the right-hand channel, the pot. I believe it was the pot on the mixer was scratchy, and I'd run it back and forth about 20 times to, free up whatever gunk had got in there. And there's a cover on it already. I'm running in this studio. I'm running air purifiers, 2 of them, to keep the dust down. It's doing a pretty good job wiping the top of my monitor and then looking at my finger. It's doing a pretty good job, but still, that pot must have got, a little corrosion on it or something. But have you heard about Bitcoin? Holy cow. You got any Bitcoin that you bought cheap? I have some Bitcoin sitting in Coinbase right now. And I think I bought that Bitcoin when it was about, maybe 8,000. And it's up to 20,000. The volatile virtual currency has gained more than 170% this year amid stock market turmoil. On Wednesday, Bitcoin jumped 4.5% to get to as much as $20,440. It's been a bumpy ride here, but 20 grand. Keep those Bitcoin machines running. But it went as low as 3,300. And and it's widely traded as just like currencies are now. But it also has a growing support of payment via PayPal. But some of the banks are getting nervous about it. So my mom actually asked me how to set up a Bitcoin account here recently as well. So it's got her attention. Don't buy them now, Mom. It's real high. Wait. NASA approves Blue Origin's New Glenn for future uncrewed missions. So even though this thing is not flown yet, NASA's already approved it. So for future unmanned scientific and exploration missions to the moon and beyond. It's a 310-foot reusable booster. And let's see when they actually fly the thing. Lots of time to see that, I guess, here in the future. All right, so that's going to bring me to the end of the show. I told you not to leave. Some of you already did. Let's see here. I thought I have. Let me find it here. I'm all thumbs this evening. Didn't sleep as much as I should have last night, but it's okay. That happens sometimes. Oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong email account. That helps. There we go. Let me go over here. And did I already read this email? I did. Oh, you know what you can do? You can participate in the show by very simply going to sending me an email, geeknews at Rita, you just said something in Facebook. I'm so sorry. I did not know that your wife had passed. I'm so sorry for you. The last I knew, I heard you had mentioned she was sick. So my condolences to you. So I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, Rita just said she needs to memorialize my wife's account. So if I missed that, or I got a lot of things going on, I feel so sorry. I hope you're doing okay. Drop me a note. I'll drop you one. That's the polite thing to do. All right, everyone. With that, Geek News. Rita's a long-time listener of the show. She's been, I think you've been here near the beginning, right? So, again, condolences to you. But everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. And you are part of our family, and I know that Christmas is fast approaching here. I hope you're able to spend time with loved ones, even though I know many of you are in areas where it was locked down. I will say this about being down in Florida. And those of you that was watching the Facebook page will know that it felt like a breath of fresh air. Restaurants were open. Bars were open. Everything was open. People were living their lives, going around. People were wearing their masks. People were social distancing. People weren't scorning people for doing things. Kids were out playing. Adults were out walking hand in hand. It was wonderful. It was remarkable. It was freedom. And I know many of you, I know there's places all over the country that are locked down. I know the COVID cases are going up. I know all that stuff is happening. I'm not disregarding that. But wow. I sensed it when we walked off the airplane. Because in Detroit, everything was closed. They weren't serving nothing on the airplane. And we walked out and there was restaurants in the airport were open. Bars were open. People were drinking Bloody Marys. It was amazing. It really was. It really was. Why is it so different there than here and many other places in the country? I think we kind of know that answer, but it really felt remarkable. It really, really did. So, all right, everyone. You said pretty close. All right, I take it that, okay, well, let's get caught up. Anyway, I'm talking to Rita again on Facebook here. She left a note. Anyway, that's it. I'll be back on Monday for another show. Hope you enjoyed it today. Hey, we went like an hour and 4 minutes. Wow, that's good. Instead of 15 minutes getting out of here, this is kind of back to normal show length. But again, next show on Monday, then I fly out to Honolulu on the 23rd. Celebrate Christmas out there. Be back, fly out the night of the 27th, come back. And then who knows? New Year's. I made zero plans for New Year's. Zero at this point. So I'm sure there'll be something to keep me occupied. All right, everyone. Take care. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye.